Okay, so this is our lesson for the bouncing ball. This will be your homework for week 4, leading into week 5, that is. Okay, so we're just gonna bounce a ball for 1 second, which is 24 frames. What we're gonna do is we're gonna loop the animation, so you all just have to do 1 second of animation, and we're gonna keep looping it through playback, that is. Okay. Point here is that we're learning function curves and we're learning timing, and we're not going for realistic, in a way, bounce. We're going for a realistic bounce look, but there's no negative energy effect here, meaning the energy will always be the same because we're trying to loop it, right? Normally you would bounce a ball after the first bounce, then it loses energy, the bounce will be lower, lower, and lower. But for the sake of learning, we're just going to keep bouncing it up and down until you guys learn how to work with function curves. Okay, so let's take a look at our scene right here. So I have my classic cyclorama background. I have a little platform here because it might be too hard to tell where the floor is if we're just going to use the cyclorama. So I put a little like a cube, flattened cube object, and a UV sphere right here. Okay, so I'm going to change my timeline to 24 frames. So we're working with 24 frames, 1 to 24. I'm going to zoom in on that as well. Okay, and then let's take a look at the our timeline right here. There we go. Okay, we're going to drop the ball actually, and it'll bounce back. Okay, and then it just keeps basically looping at that point. Okay, first, when you're animating, is you got to decide on what your animation's about. Okay, this particular animation is that we have to decide what kind of ball this is. Is this kind of like a soft rubber ball, a bowling ball, a baseball, a basketball, or ping pong, or a golf ball? Okay, so what we want here, it's kind of like a ping pong ball, so we don't have to worry about adding any squashing on this one. Okay, because again, we're just kind of learning, and we're going to simplify things, and then we're going to complicate things later on by adding different elements to this. Okay, so first things first is that I need to make sure that you guys, if you're following along, you're in the animation tab. Okay, and I'm going to go switch to the front viewport right here. So I'm going to press number 1, so it's all flat to me, and then there's the ball. I'm also using the transform tool, move right here, so you can easily see what we're doing here. So what I've done is set up my camera so you get to see the very top framing and the bottom right here. And since we're moving up and down, we're going to be working exclusively on the z-axis. Okay, so the z-axis right here is the up and down movement, and since we're just going to drop the ball from the top, then it bounced back up on the same height. Like I said again, it's we're not dissipating energy, we're not losing energy, it's just for the loop. Okay, later on you guys will do some more realistic animation where you gotta bounce it up and down and whatnot. It will slowly then descend to the bottom because you're losing energy. So first things first is I want to keep this animated with the top being 0, okay, so that I can easily put it back to the way it was. Okay, so we're going to do long form animation here. There's a lot of shortcuts that you can do in animation. We're going to do it the long way so it's easier for you guys to understand. Alright, so first thing is I want to make sure this one is that top right there. Probably that's the highest, or maybe lower it a bit. Okay, right here, so that's the highest I want the ball to kind of bounce. So I want to make sure that that one is 0 value right here, so I can then, when I move it back up, I can just press 0 and we'll know the number. Okay, so in order to do that, you got to select the object. Okay, in object mode, and I'm going to go apply all transform to deltas. We keep the origin where it's at. Values goes to 0 right here. Okay, so first things first, 4 steps of animation. I know we've been I'm not going to be doing the steps after this one because you probably have mastered them at this point, but we're going to do it for this one, our last one, where I kind of baby steps everything. Okay, so first step is select the object you want to animate. The ball is selected. Okay, we're also going to change that to ball. No question that that's the ball. Okay, and we decided this is a ping pong ball, so it's not going to squash. It'll be a quick kind of bounce, kind of go into it, right? It might be too big for a ball, for a ping pong ball, but it's the reason for that is I want it to be visible right here. I want it to be kind of big enough. Okay. All right, so then that's the floor right there, and we're going to animate this. So second step is position the time. So we definitely want to be number 1 right there, the beginning. So to put in the top, okay, it drops. It takes about 12 frames for it to drop, and then from 13 to 24, it goes back up to where it's at. Okay, so third step is to keyframe. It's already in position. So this is the z-axis, which is blue. So z-axis right here. I'm going to select. Right-click, insert single keyframe. All right, and as you can see right here, oh, did I not register the location? All right, let me change this back to, sorry, dope sheet, because I was still in the function curve with the last one, so that's why we didn't see it. So let me reframe my timeline right here. My dope sheet. So we can see 1 to 24. There it is, a keyframe. Okay, and we know for sure it's going to go back here. Okay, it's going to go back up here in frame 24. So 1, and then 12, then 24, right? So I'm just going to go to frame 24. I can select my keyframe here. Okay, Command C to copy. And then right here I can I can paste it. Okay, so then all it does is that it kept it up there from 1 to 24. Okay, so that's one way to do it, but like I said, we're going to do long form, so we're going to do one step at a time. Okay, so right here, so next step is select the object you want to animate. There it is. Second step is to position the time, so that would be frame 12. Okay, right there, and then transform the object. All right, let's transform it. So I'm just going to eyeball this, and I think it touched the ground right there. You can zoom in to confirm, but it looks like it's down there. Step number 4, z-axis, which is the blue one, up and down, right? So I'm just going to right-click, insert keyframe, and then we watch this animation. All right, terrible drop right there. Why is that? Because the function curves, remember, the ball is supposed to accelerate on its way down, okay, because gravity. But since our default function curve is defaulting to the Bezier, it slows down the ending, which is not what we want. So that's why we're going to make those lessons from the previous lesson applied here, so we can control the bounce better. But that's not what we're after yet. We just want to put the major keyframes. You need to finish your keyframe, then go back and tweak. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Third step. Third keyframe, select the object you want to animate. There it is. Second step, position the time. So that we're going to go 24 right there. That's where we want to animate it. Third step, transform your object. There's no way I'm going to know where that where the height was, but remember we did reset our object and delta, right? So I just type in 0 right here. So then I know for a fact that frame 1 and frame 24 are the exact same location. So I'm going to insert the keyframe and hit play. There you go. So there's our bounce. Pretty terrible. It looks like it's bouncing upside down actually. Okay, so what we want is to correct this one, and using the function curve is actually pretty easy. And then our life is a little bit easier here because we're not incorporating squash and stretch yet. Okay, so this is like we just want the ball to be bouncing as if it's a ping pong ball. Okay, so I'm going to hit stop. I'm going to switch to right here, graph editor. Remember, this is the same one where we found the our function curves. Okay, so let's take a look. Let me select it. Okay, and there it is. So I'm going to zoom out right there. I'm going to press A to select everything. I'm going to press dot on the numpad to kind of zoom all. Okay, so if not, you gotta zoom out like so and kind of frame it. All right, so let's take a look. This is frame 1. This is frame 12. That's frame 24. And we play this. Remember, the default from the previous lesson is that it's on slow, slow, slow everything. So it's slow to drop, it's slow to drop, it's slow to take off from the bottom, and it's slow going up. So actually, 2 of the slowest one here works, right? So if you have to guess, it's this one and that slow, right? So when an object reaches apex at top, or you first drop an object, it slows to drop first, okay? Then it accelerates, it builds that speed, all right? So it's not slow per se, it's just not as fast, right? And then when it's bouncing up, about to reach its highest point, it also slows down, right? Kind of like a hang time, and then it drops, okay? So these two, we can leave them as slow. It's the issue, it's right here. The in and out of frame 12 is slow and slow. It should be slow, fast, fast, slow. So this two will have to go fast, right? So let's watch the animation again. All right, top and bottom, there's no problem there. It's the impact right here. Okay, so I'm gonna hit stop. First thing is that I need to be able to select the handle here, press G to move, and then be able to have an independent one. Remember, I need to make this fast. If this is rocking like a seesaw, then I won't be able to make this fast because it's compensating for that. So the first thing we want to do is to change the keyframe here from its handle from automatic to free. So when you click free, you get independent handles. You see it? It no longer does a seesaw. All right. So I'm going to go to frame 12. Okay. Select this one. And remember, we're not changing interpolation here. We're just changing the handle type from automatic to free. The other way to do it is select it and press V as in victory. That's a keyboard shortcut. So in case you didn't want to right click and go handle type and free. Okay. So all I have to do here is change this handle, reverse the curve. I'm going to press G, select the handle first, press G for grab, and then move it up. All right, so I'm going to go kind of straight like this. You can see I reversed it. Okay, let's just see by just me moving one. Okay, it's already looking better, but there's still something wrong with the bounce up because it drops fine. Okay, it going up right here is not so fast. It's supposed to, but it's not yet because we haven't changed that. So I'm going to stop. Select this one, right? I'm sorry, the handle. Press G. Going to do the same thing. Maybe you can position that kind of like so, but you know, I like it a little bit lower so I can see that. I can't perceive how this is going to bounce back a little bit less than that one. It's still going to bounce probably correct. Okay? Or you can just move that handle up there. Totally up to you. Let's play it. All right, there it is. And the bounce is corrected simply by changing the function curve. So this will be your homework for week 4. Replicate this one. Okay, so we can start learning that one and on our way to our project one, which we'll talk about tonight. Okay, I'm going to end the lesson here, and then you guys can watch this and be the homework.